Sometimes I think we need to go back to the basis of manifestation. You have been watching tons of videos or tons of coaches about manifesting your SP or your specific desires, and you are so confused because there are so many techniques, or you have been trying a bunch of things and still you're getting opposite results. Well, this video is for you because I really do believe that sometimes we just have to push the reset button, get back to the basis, and therefore go back on track. With this easy formula, it's gonna probably be like a 5 minutes video. We're gonna go back on track and we're gonna make sure that we're manifesting exactly what we want in an easy and effortless way. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. Hello everyone, my name is Naya, and on this channel we talk a lot about manifestation, esotericism, and so much more. Subscribe and hit the ring bell button because I also go live to answer your questions quite often, so you don't want to miss on that. And if you want any services, they are down below, including DM coaching on my Ko-Fi shop. So let's get to this very straightforward video. You guys, sometimes I feel guilty of this because definitely I am someone extremely curious, and I made thousands of videos, hundreds of videos for sure, about anything, about esotericism, about egregores, thought form, pendulum, mastery your reality, the 7 hermetic principles. Literally each and every single technique you could think about, probably I've tried it and I made a video about. And I constantly say that everything that I discuss on this channel comes from my personal experience, and I, like I said, extremely curious. I know that each and every one of us think slightly in a different way. Our brain functions in a slightly different way. Some people are more visualizers, some people are more, they prefer more affirmations, some other inner conversational scripting, and therefore I like to expand the topics of my video, not to confuse anyone, but just to give a lot of options when it comes down to manifesting. However, I feel that even though this is extremely interesting, like the science behind manifestation and every video that I did about quantum physics and all of that is extremely interesting, and especially if you're nerdy like me, but sometimes it can end up confusing people in the sense that you might think that you need to do all of this technique in order to manifest. Or even worse, you have started with one technique or with one method, or you just simply changing your thoughts, which again is not even a technique, it's just how you should do it. We're gonna get to that in a second. And then because you're impatient, you don't see your reality converting immediately, then you start jumping from one technique to another, from one coach to another, from one video to another. And so I think that sometimes I have to do this myself. We have to push the reset button and we have to go back to the basics, because otherwise we end up in a rabbit hole where we never get our desires because we're constantly changing our thoughts, or we're like, oh, this person is better for this week, or this other coach is better for next week. And I'm like, everyone is pretty much saying the same thing. I don't think that everyone is necessarily the best coach ever. I don't think necessarily that everyone deeply understands the law. But and I do believe, I want to be honest, and many people jumped on this train because it was, you know, it was popular to do in order to get views online. But that's just only my opinion. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like what it matters is that you guys follow yourself. You guys follow the teachings, whoever is saying these teachings that resonates with you. And that's why I did all these sort of videos. But at the end of the day, we all think, right? We cannot stop thinking. And so what is really the basics is changing your thoughts. Like, I usually never make this simplistic video, but I feel that sometimes they are needed. There is no magic sauce. Now, you're gonna tweak and perfect your own way of manifesting depending on who you are. So, for example, I've talked about this before. I have started just with affirming, and it has worked wonderfully for me. And then I developed into letting go a lot and controlling less, simply because I suffer from anxiety. And so for me, affirming all day long sometimes gets extremely heavy and I get burned out from it. But not because I think it's wrong. It's just because I feel I don't need to do it as much as in the beginning. However, when I was a beginner, what really turned my life, what changed my life was affirming, was doing it consistently, and therefore changing my thoughts, because affirmations is nothing but changing your thoughts and claiming the reality that I want. And I did it strongly. What does it mean strongly? Every single time I woke up in the morning, I affirmed. I was in the shower, I affirmed. I was doing my makeup in front of the mirror, I affirmed. I was walking and listening to music, I affirmed. I was watching a video from a YouTuber that I liked, and while I was watching, I affirmed. Before going to bed, I visualized usually, or I affirmed. And I affirmed so freaking much at the beginning of the things that I wanted that literally after 2 weeks that I was affirming for things that were specific, I used to wake up thinking those things automatically. That's what I did at the beginning. Did I go better through time, and did I become an instant manifester to the point where now I just have to think about something and it literally manifests? Yeah, because the more you're gonna do it, the more you're gonna become good at it, and the more your brain is like, let me give you this example. And probably not everyone is going to resonate with this, but follow me through. It's like with pregnancy or giving birth, actually. The first son that you're birthing, usually, it is the hardest, usually, because the body is going through a new experience, right? And so usually you are gonna go into labor for a longer period of time. I mean, you can manifest not to, but usually, generally speaking, this is what happens because your body, again, is going through a new experience. The second son is usually faster, statistically, really. Why? Because the body and the mind has a memory and remembers labor, and so it goes through it in a lot faster, smoother way. It is the same thing with manifestation. I love to compare birth to manifesting because it's literally the same thing. And even Neville Goddard used to make this comparison. I don't remember, maybe it was in The Power of Awareness, but in one of his books, he compares manifesting as the conception of a baby and the birthing of a baby, like to pregnancy, conception, pregnancy, and delivery. I couldn't agree more with Neville. It is exactly the same thing. So by virtue of this example, you can understand that at the beginning, maybe you have to put a little bit more effort, or maybe more than effort, you have to affirm a little bit stronger, because it took you years to have your limiting beliefs. It took you years to think in the way that you think, which led you to your unwanted manifestation. So it's gonna take you a while, to get into that labor mode. You have to labor and get to the contractions, a little bit of affirming, and get into the swing of it and repeat it, and changing your thoughts in that way. But once you're gonna start seeing more and more and more results, not only you're going to be more perfect in your technique, they're gonna become more personal, the way you're going to handle, your thoughts. So like I said, some people will visualize more, some people will do more inner conversation, some people will start scripting, whatever it could be for you. And then not only that, but it's gonna be faster. You're gonna see, because your body and your mind has a memory of the new belief system, of the fact that, yeah, indeed, the manifestation worked, it has worked before, it's gonna work even now. Then you're gonna affirm less and less and less. You're not gonna need that as much, because again, your mind and your body has a newer memory. And this is what Neville Goddard used to talk about, is buying the pearl of great price. Which means when you start believing, but for real, like experientially believing that the law is real, because right now you could, as a beginner or as someone that is frustrated about your manifestation, you could think, no, but I know the manifestation is real. I believe in it. Yeah, but did you actually have the experience of manifesting one thing after another consistently? 80% of you probably not yet. So because of that, you didn't fully bought the pearl of great price. Now, do you have to experience it necessarily? No, you could buy the pearl of great price just because you're delusional and you're like, I know it works and it's gonna work. But usually people like this are not even watching this video because they're already manifested what they want. So you're buying the pearl of great price. The more your experience will teach you, hey, I got this, yeah? I was thinking this, I affirmed for it, I affirmed even like robotically, and I got this, and then it worked. And then because your body and your mind is gonna have this memory that it worked, and then it worked another time, and then it worked another time, then again, you can affirm less and less and less, because it's just gonna be easier for you. It's going to be easier. But why this video? Because if you have been stuck, If you are impatient, or even you are a beginner at manifesting, we need to go back to the basis. What is manifestation? You are always manifesting. Your thoughts create your reality. Why? Because your thoughts don't remain stuck in your brain, but they go to the quantum field. They go out energetically like an arrow, like if you're shooting an arrow, and they create. Your imagination is as real, if not more real, than what you perceive to be 3D reality. Most likely we do live in a simulation. If you like the science, I have a video entitled The Simulation Theory, if you guys want to watch it. Still not confirmed, obviously, scientifically speaking, but it's a theory that is out there if you guys are interested. So by knowing all of this, or just by following Neville Goddard, we know that our thoughts, our identity, the state that we sit in, which is our identity, pushes out the hologram, pushes out a reality. So what do you guys need to do consistently? Consistently meaning not reverting back to your old self. You have to think thoughts that come from the state of consciousness that you want to be in. You have to affirm yourself in that particular state. You have to identify with a particular version of you that is already living a reality. Okay, so let me give you another example. You don't take your car and go in the parking lot and just think, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go to California or whatever. Let's say that you're in New York and you want to go on the other side of the coast. You have to turn the key and affirm yourself, I'm going there, and just you go. That's the same thing. So you affirm yourself to go to California. You quantum jump in that reality by identifying. And how do you identify? By thinking different thoughts. Why? Because when you, let's put it this way. Let's say I want to be in a committed relationship. I'm not right now. If I am not right now, why? What thoughts am I thinking? Probably I'm thinking I always get rejected. I'm not loved. I don't have my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I'm unhappy. This sucks. I want to be in a committed relationship. What identity would I have if I would be in a committed relationship? I am so happy and grateful I'm in a committed relationship. Everything is wonderful. We go so well together. This is why we affirm. We affirm to change our thoughts. When we change our thoughts, we sit into the right state of consciousness. This is it. That's it. So if you are a beginner, or you have been stuck, reset button right now. What you gotta do, you affirm yourself in that identity that you want to be in. And you do it repeatedly. Then you're going to start seeing results, because remember, Neville used to say, signs always follow. They never precede. Signs always follow. You most of the time, you see this reality as outside of you. This reality and your desire, your SP, the money are not outside of you. Everything is inside of you. Signs always follow. They never precede. So you're going to start seeing signs of your manifestation unfolding. Why? Because you have changed your thoughts. And by changing your thoughts, signs will follow. And what you got to do, keep affirming and follow the signs. That's it. And then the bridge of event will appear. A couple of natural action, one on top of each other, will lead you exactly where you need to be. Or your manifestation is just gonna freaking drop at your door. I've seen this happening a lot of time, especially with SPs. Like many SPs, like no contact for months and months and months, and then the dude or the girl was literally in front of the people's houses. You know, you can manifest in any way. But okay, so this video is to say, stop complicating things. If you have been confused, this is it. Go back to the basic. Just change your thoughts and stay consistent on them. Okay? I really feel that sometimes, you know, other videos are super interesting, but this sort of videos are extremely needed most of the time, sometimes to freshen things up, refresh things. Sorry, my English. Refreshing things when it comes down to the basic of manifestation. Once we understand this, and you're gonna get better and better at it because of the reasons that I said before, then we can talk about the science about manifesting. Then we can talk about quantum jumping, the simulation theory, letting go. We can tweak and perfect, our ways of manifesting. But all of this comes afterwards. before we need to nail this down. Changing my thoughts, going to the right state of mind, persisting on it. That's it. Got it? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys also on Patreon, where I do make weekly extra videos. I love you guys and see you soon. Bye.